played. Comes out that instant basketball analysis on Analysis Playground on YouTube, exclusively on there forever. And we're talking about how the Houston Rockets beat the Memphis Grizzlies 119 to 109. Memphis go to 24 and 49 and 13 and 23 at home. The Rockets go to 44 and 29, 19 and 19 on the road. They still have a chance to finish above 500 on the road with a couple more games left. The Rockets lead the season series 3-0, meaning they won it, because even if the Grizzlies win the last game, they'll still win it 3-1. But since they still got to play another game, they have a chance to sweep the Grizzlies. They play on the 12th of next month, and that'll be their last meeting into next season, as this is the last and final meeting, because the Grizzlies won't be a play-in or a playoff team this season. Rockets won the first quarter 32-30. They won the second quarter 24-19. They lost the third quarter 33-31. But the Rockets won the fourth quarter 32-27 to win by 10. Kevin Wayne Durant was really carrying his team throughout the game. He had 25 points and 10 assists. He also went 8 of 14 from the field. A lot of mid-range shots and jump shots near the paint. And he was also able to hit a couple threes. He went 3 of 7 from 3, and he finished 6 of 7 from the free throw line. This is a usual game from him. The only difference is he had the ball in his hands more, and he was making more decisions and more reads for the team, which isn't something that's been new lately, but we never really seen him make this many decisions and take this many chances as a playmaker. But the team needs him to do it. They feel like he's great for it, and he's trying to adjust and find a way to do it consistently. And this was a really good game, but obviously it's against the Grizzlies. You got to hold it with a grain of salt. But it's still good to see him make those changes for this particular roster and team. He also had one steal, no personal fouls, and was a +8 and plus minus. I had 6 rebounds, so a really, really good game for Kevin Durant. 20 and 10 is always good, especially when you only get 3 turnovers. He has been turnover prone in these last couple months, and he hasn't, had a night like this in a while. He hasn't had a game like this in a while, but it ended up happening tonight. Jabari Smith Jr., 37 minutes. He ended up scoring 21 points. He went 7 of 16 from the field, 2 of 7 from 3, 5 of 8 from the free throw line. He had a double-double, 16 boards. So with the 21 points, that's really good for him. The mid-range, the threes, the ability to see what the defense is trying to do and trying to make the right counter to it is something that he has to continue to work on, whether that's passing or scoring. He did have 5 turnovers in this game, showing you that he couldn't really make his mind up. But that's what the defense is supposed to do. Trick you and make you do some things that make you a little uncomfortable. He did have 4 assists in the block. He had 5 offensive rebounds out of the 16, but he still had 11 for defensive. That's important. You got to close out possessions. He was able to help them that way. In this one, 2 personal fouls and a +8 and plus minus. Alperen Şengün, 33 minutes, 14 points. He went 6 of 13 from the field, 2 of 4 from the free throw line. He had 8 rebounds and 7 assists. They use him as their second hub. We'll give him the ball and run things through him if it ain't going through KD. And he will generate a shot for himself for his teammates at a high level. So at least he's showing you that he can do that for you this entire season. And he showed you that last year too. It's just more spacing on this particular team. In my personal opinion, he did have 8 rebounds, 1 turnover, 1 steal, and 2 blocks. He's still trying to give you that hustle and that two-way play. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You can say that about a lot of defenders, though. He also had 4 offensive rebounds, 4 personal fouls, and 1 a minus, 1 and plus minus. Amen. Thompson played the most minutes, no surprise there. He did have 18 points. He went 7 of 15 from the field, 1 of 2 from 3, 3 of 3 from the free throw line. You know he's going to attack. You know he's going to try to drive. You know he's going to try to get to those push and floater shots or just plain finish around the rim. So high percentage looks, good shot selection most of the time, and this one was no different for this game. He did have 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 turnovers, 2 steals in the block. You know he's going to put up defensive numbers because he's going to take gambles, he's going to take risks, he's going to time it, and he usually going to have some type of success, and tonight was no different for that. 5 offensive rebounds, 2 personal fouls, and a +3 and plus minus for him. And then Reed Shepherd, you know, he can make some plays on the ball as well. He had 4 steals that led the team. He also had 1 block. He went 6 of 15 from the field, 3 of 7 from 3. If he can just be a little bit more better offensively, whether that's from mid-range or from 3, he can help this team out tremendously. He has good size. He has good anticipation on a defensive end. He has a little bit of a jump shot, but if it was just a little bit better, the team would be tougher to guard and harder to beat, and it would help put them on another level. And it's something that might happen, but I see it in him. I know he can do it. He has games like it every once in a while. You just need it more, and they'll just be a tougher team because of that. But he did have 5 rebounds, 5 assists, and 1 turnover. He had 3 offensive rebounds, 1 personal foul, and was a +5. And plus minus Jay Sean Tate, 9 minutes, 2 points. He went 1 of 2 from the field. His only miss was a three. He had 1 rebound, 1 turnover, no personal foul, and was a +3. And plus minus Tari Eason, 29 minutes, ended up being the most off the bench. He had 16 points. That was also the most off the bench. He took the most shots, which was the most too, which was 14. And he went 6 of 14 from the field and 1 of 6 from three and 3 of 4 from the free throw line. He scored better in this one, but you still need more from him. If he's going to play a big role and he's going to take that many shots, you want him to be a little bit more efficient. And we'll see if he can find himself in this new role. If not, that's a place they're going to probably have to upgrade next year if they can. He did have 7 boards, which was really helpful. He had an assist, no turnover. That was good. He had a steal, 3 offensive boards, 3 personal fouls, and was a +11. And plus minus Clint Capella, 15 minutes, 2 points. He made his only shot, but he also did get 5 boards. One of them was offensive. He had a turnover and 2 blocks. The 2 blocks were tied with Şengün for the most on the team. He did have 1 personal foul, was a +9 and plus minus. And Aaron Holiday played 15 minutes. He had 6 points. He ended up making 2 threes and missed one. That's a good night for him, considering that he don't play that much, don't touch the ball as much. But he did have 1 rebound, no turnover, and a personal foul, was a +4 and plus minus. And then you look at the Grizzlies, they did a lot of things right. They was really competitive. They kept it close, but they just ran out of offense. They just couldn't score as well as the Rockets enough, and they couldn't do multiple things at a high level to just outscore them. They kept up with them, but they couldn't outscore them. And this one, but Oliver Prosper, he was making dunks. He was competing all the way to the very end, getting layups, getting finishes, hitting threes, and he just had a monster game. 31 points for him, 12 of 15 from the field, 4 of 5 from three, 3 of 3 from the free throw line. He had 7 boards, which was tied for the most on the team. He had 2 assists, no turnovers, and 2 steals. He also had 2 offensive rebounds, 2 personal fouls, was a -4. And plus minus Taylor Hendricks, 30 minutes. He ended up having 5 points. He went 2 of 11 from the field, 0 of 5 from three, and 1 of 2 from the free throw line. He missed a ton of shots in this one, but every couple good games you go might have a bad one if you're young and you're still figuring things out. So you just take this one, let him learn from it, let him see what he made mistake-wise, and just try to, fix it next game to the best of your ability. And like I said, he had 7 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 turnovers, and 2 steals, 2 offensive rebounds, 1 personal foul, and was a -1. And plus minus Cedric Coward had the jump shots ish going for him. And this one, he finished 4 of 7 from the field, 1 of 2 from three, and 1 of 1 from the free throw line. That was good enough for 10 points. He only played 25 minutes. He also gave you a steal, 2 assists, no turnovers, and 4 boards. One of his rebounds was offensive. He also had a personal foul, was a +7. And plus minus, he was figuring things out. He was letting the game come to him. That's the type of player that he is. And, it's good to see him in the starting lineup still thriving. And then G.G. Jackson, he had a good game, hit a nice half-court shot, and ended up playing 30 minutes and had 14 points, went 5 of 14 from the field, 2 of 7 from three, and 2 of 2 from the free throw line. He had 4 rebounds, 3 turnovers, and a block. He also had 2 offensive rebounds, 1 personal foul, and was a 0 in plus minus. Not too much of a problem with how he played. Good shot selection. He did a good job of being aggressive. It just worked sometimes, and sometimes it didn't. As a defense job to make it tough on you. And then Javon Small, they kept saying he ain't getting them threes as much, and so he had to drive a little bit, but it still worked out for him. He went 6 of 9 from the field, 2 of 3 from the three-point line in 14 minutes. He had 14 points in 25 minutes. He did have 3 rebounds and 5 assists. The 5 assists was the most in the starting lineup. He also had 2 turnovers and a steal, 1 offensive rebound, 3 personal fouls, and was a +1 and plus minus. You're just happy that he can run the offense, find guys, score, space the ball, and be a threat to attack guys off the dribble. So that's what you want your guards to do, and to show you that he can get that done for you. And then everybody off the bench for the Grizzlies did score. They needed to keep this one competitive. Taj Gibson scored by the basket, was physical. He had 8 points, went 2 of 2 from the field, 4 of 4 from the free throw line. He had 1 rebound, 3 assists, 1 turnover, and a steal. He also had 3 personal fouls. It was a +1 and plus minus, and Tyler Burton played 25 minutes. He had 5 points. He couldn't make really anything. He had two. He shot 2 of 10 from the field and 1 of 7 from three. It sucks that happened, but it's part of the game. Like I say, you want to shoot more perimeter shots. You want to be able to create shots. It's not going to come easy. That's why the talented ones can make them good or hard, and the other guys need a little bit of help to do it. And he just didn't have it going in this one for that reason. 2 rebounds, 1 assist, no turnovers, and a steal. 3 personal fouls and a -14, a plus minus. DeJohn played 15 minutes. He got 4 points. He didn't really shoot that ball that great. He went 2 of 8 from the field, 0 of 2 from three. He did still help in other ways, though. 6 rebounds, 3 assists, and 1 turnover. He had 4 offensive rebounds, 4 personal fouls, and was a -13, a plus minus. And then Cam Spencer played 29 minutes. He had 11 points. That was the most off the bench. He went 4 of 7 from the field, 3 of 4 from three. They kept giving him space. They kept leaving him open. So he said, I'll pull it, see what happens. And he was able to make them. And then he finished with a double-double because he had 10 assists. The Rockets are going to make communication errors. They're going to overhelp. They're going to try to rotate or guard. You just got to find the open man, especially if the defense is collapsed or they is a little broke down. You can get a three or something for yourself or a teammate. So he was able to make the right reads. He also had 1 turnover and 3 steals and a block. All effort there. And just a good anticipation, too, of knowing when to go for it, when not to. No personal fouls, a -16 and plus minus. And Walter Clayton Jr. played 23 minutes. He had 7 points. He went 1 of 8 from the field, 0 of 2 from three, 5 of 6 from the free throw line. He couldn't make anything, whether it was a drive or a shot. And that wasn't good for the Grizzlies. They needed some of these guys to have a decent game scoring, but they couldn't get it done. The Rockets made it difficult, and some they just flat out missed, even if it was wide open. 2 rebounds, 1 assist, and 1 turnover in the block for Walter Clayton. One of his rebounds was offensive, 2 personal fouls, and a -11. And plus minus, the Grizzlies shot 44% from the field. The Rockets shot 47, 35% from three for the Grizzlies, 36 for the Rockets, and then 89 free throw percentage. 89 is what they shot from the free throw line. The Rockets shot 73%. And then 39 rebounds for the Grizzlies, 57 for the Rockets, 28 assists for the Grizzlies, 30 for the Rockets, 11 turnovers for the Grizzlies, 14 for the Rockets, 11 steals for the Grizzlies, 9 for the Rockets, 3 blocks for the Grizzlies, 7 for the Rockets, 14 offensive rebounds for the Grizzlies, 21 for the Rockets, 25 defensive rebounds for the Grizzlies, 36 for the Rockets, and then 20 personal fouls for the Grizzlies, 14 for the Rockets. And the Rockets was able to get this one by double figures. They had, some difficulties in the game and some breakdowns, and they got challenged a little bit, but they got it done, and they figured it out before it was too late, and they was able to get a good win. This was a game that they should have won. This is a game that they should have been able to get, and they figured it out, and no game is going to be easy. No game going to really come easy. You got to do your part. You got to play real good defense. You still got to find a way to get good looks, and they found that throughout the game. They had a little bit more better players, so things came a little easier, and guys was able to make them type of shots and those type of plays, and the Grizzlies just didn't have the same, which we knew coming into the game, and that's the advantage that the Rockets had, and they utilized it real well to be able to win this one. Comment, like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell to get that analysis when it first come out. Y'all stay blessed up. Y'all stay good. Peace, and I'll see y'all later today with more analysis, hopefully.